You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Hoyer versus Porter, Horne, and Gentry.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Hoyer, after 14 years of being in foster care, you desperately searched for your father. Sadly, that search ended when you learned that your alleged father, Mr. James Horne, was tragically killed. To make matters worse, you claim his family rejected you, and so you're here today to prove to them that you are indeed his son and finally have a family.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Porter, you and your mother, Ms. Horne, who's joining us from her hometown, are adamant that Mr. Hoyer is not biologically part of your family.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim that before Mr. Horne passed away, he clearly stated that he had no children, and you believe today's DNA results will prove him right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Finally, Ms. Gentry, you are Mr. Hoyer's mother. You say you're hoping to build a better relationship with him today by truthfully answering the court's questions in an effort to determine the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
You admit you are unsure who fathered your son.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Hoyer, please share, what was it like growing up without a father?
Your Honor, it was like hell growing up without a father. I was taken away when I was 3 and 9. I was in foster care for 14 years, got adopted when I was 14. Never got to learn how to shave, never got to learn how to tie a tie. I don't know who my father is because my mom used to be a stripper. I feel that if I did know my biological father, my life would have been totally different.
And so you were told that Mr. Horne was one of the men that potentially could be your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you learn that?
A couple months ago, it was my 23rd birthday. I went to my mom's house just to go say hi, and her new boyfriend was like, "You look like your father," which stopped me right there in my tracks. So I was like, "Wait, you know my father?" He was like, "Yeah, your father is James Horne."
And this was the first person that had looked at you and said, "You look just like him."
Yes, Your Honor, and I actually have a photo here.
Jerome, may I see that, please? So this is a photo of the man you were told is your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
When you look at this picture, do you see yourself?
I do in some ways. I see myself through the smile and through the forehead and the eyebrows.
Miss Porter, all of this time, these years before your brother passed, he never mentioned having a child.
Never.
Were you close to him?
Yes, we were very close, Your Honor. Very, very close. He mentioned on his deathbed that he never had any children.
But Mr. Hoyer, you believe he is your father, and you went searching for his family.
Yes, Your Honor.
How did you find his family?
My older brother lives next door to my alleged father's brother. And he went over and asked my alleged uncle about the name, James Horne, and he's like, "Yes, that's my brother." So my adopted brother came and got me, took me over to his neighbors, and that's how I met him.
What was that encounter like? What happened? Take me step by step.
When I approached the house, I walked into the door. My alleged uncle was like, "So you're my brother's son?" I was like, "I guess I am. I really don't know." He was like, "Well, let me see your hands." So I stuck my hands like this, and they looked at my hands. They were like, "You do have our hands. You have just small hands, but the long fingers." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, my brother had the same type of hands as you do." That actually got me excited for a brief minute, but there was others in the household that was like, "You don't look like my brother."
Okay. So, Ms. Horne, when this young man walks into your home and says he thinks he's your grandson, what were you thinking?
Well, my son Arthur brought him in, and he said, "I want you to see him. See, is this your grandson?" And here's the word I said. I said no, because I hadn't heard it before. Because before my son left me, he said he didn't have any kids, and I'm going by what he say.
Had your son ever mentioned Mr. Hoyer or Miss Gentry?
No, ma'am.
Miss Gentry, why is it they know nothing about you or your son?
My parents, they never accepted biracial relationships, never. So we kept it a secret. We were really in love.
Had you planned to marry?
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
Did he feel like it would be an issue with his family?
Somewhat.
So, Ms. Porter, do you feel like it would have been an issue?
No.
Did you ever hear your brother was dating
Never.
and was gonna marry this woman?
Yeah, I ain't never heard him say nothing about marrying nobody like that. No.
Ms. Horne, did you ever have any idea your son was in a serious relationship?
No, ma'am. I never heard him say that.
Never.
So I guess your secret was safe because they have no idea.
It was a secret. I didn't even know I was really pregnant until I was 6 months. But like I have told my son, there is another man before this man.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So what you're saying is you were open and honest with your son that you had also been intimate with another man before Mr. Horne.
Yes, yes.
You lying.
Me and my sons talked about this.
So when you had your son, though, was Mr. Horne there? Was he involved with your son?
Yes, Mr. Horne seen my son one time. I left out of the relationship because I had all this controversy with my family, all right? Me and my baby.
Well, because when he was born, the secret was out at that point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I found out he was dead, it devastated me, you know? I mean, it just devastated me because I loved him so much.
No, she's not telling the truth. When the first time we ever seen her was 2 weeks after the funeral. 2 weeks after my brother was put in the ground, this young lady came and knocked at my mother's door. She says, I have your brother's child. I'm like, that's not my brother's child. Get out of here. I mean, we was trying to keep our cool, but this is not my brother's child.
And why were you so sure?
He didn't look nothing like us. Nothing. Didn't have no resemblance of my brother. And we still grieving and trying to find out what done happened to my brother. I said, no, get out of this house and don't come back.
And you remember that day?
I remember being shunned away with my baby.
So wait, you admit you weren't certain that it was his child.
Not. I was not
so
certain.
So what made you march over to their door and say that he was his child
I said
if you weren't
this
sure?
could be his
it
son.
could be. Do you remember her saying it could be? Or did
I
she
don't
say
remember.
it is?
I can't say because this is 23 years later.
At that time when you turned around and you walked away, did you say to yourself, oh, well, they don't want to be a part of his life, I'm gonna go contact the other gentleman?
No, I did not. I just walked out and I forgot all about it.
Okay. And so you said there is another gentleman, so where was he and why didn't you reach out to him?
I think he was locked up and I left it alone.
Your Honor, it's sad this young man got to hear what we got to say, but when she told him anything about my brother, it was awful. She told him he was a crackhead. She told him he was a drunk. She told him he wasn't no good. My brother was
Excuse me, did I ever tell you that?
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
I remember the first
And I
day.
believe it. I believe it.
I remember the first day I asked. I was about 4 years old.
All I said is your father is dead. That's all I said, and I
then
left
he
it
went
at
to the
that.
store to get him some milk and some Pampers, and he got killed. That was a lie too.
I
remember when
never
was
told
4
him
years
that
old.
either.
That was a lie too.
Would you like to take a lie detector test?
After 23 years, we don't know nothing about this young man. It's a whole lot you need to take.
The way
A
you
whole
treated
lot.
me, you
A
think I'm
whole
gonna come
lot.
back to you?
I'm sorry,
And now
Your Honor,
you
but it's
treat
getting
me?
off my chest.
And
It's
my
on
baby, you
chest.
threw us out of the house?
Yes,
No, where you coming back to that?
Yes, we
No,
gonna
my
go
son
back
don't
to that.
need
We
that.
gonna go back to all of it, because we gonna get the truth today.
Well, you know what?
Today is the truth. And if he is, after 23 years, he won't have to deal with you. He won't have
Why
to
not?
deal with
I'll
you.
always be his
Because he
mother.
will get what's coming to him.
Why not? I always be his mother.
You might always be the mother, but you're not a mama. A mama. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but this is a lot on my chest. It's a story to tell that I want the world to know how this woman did his child right here when he could have been at our household. He could have been with us if he was the child.
You didn't want him then, and you sure now don't want him now.
That's what you think. But we don't want you. We want him, but we don't want you. And we don't want to have nothing to say to you. I hope you get your life together, because you bringing up a whole lot. You hurting my mother. You hurting me. You hurting our whole entire family. He don't know nothing about no aunts and uncles,
need to come up
no
and take it up with
grandparents.
him.
He don't know nothing.
Miss Horne, I have to ask you, because as you can hear, this is a very passionate.
Now let me see.
Excuse me, ladies.
Ma'am, act appropriately.
Let's
Sorry.
be
Please forgive me.
appropriate in court. Ms. Horne, I have to ask you though, do you have any regrets that day for turning her away and saying this couldn't possibly be your son's child?
He didn't have no kids. And the Undertaker man come to my house too and said, we can't find no evidence of his having no kids.
And so your belief is, I just believe in what my son told me.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel that there's any possibility that he could be your grandchild?
It could be. I can't prove it, ma'am. I wish it was. I hope so.
You said you do hope so.
We do.
Now, each of you
We
have
do.
submitted photos. Now, this first set of photos is Mr. Hoyer at 8 years old and a young picture of Mr. Horne. Do you see a resemblance?
Not really. Not in that one.
Do you see yourself at all?
I can see myself in the smile.
And then the second set of photos are these photos.
Now right there, that's when we noticed it. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And how about you, sir? Mr. Hoyer, you see your face?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, can I say this?
Yes, you may.
This is 23 years, 23 years. My brother's been deceased to this day. When he got hit on his bike, which he did all kinds of tricks on bicycle. That's what he liked to do. And when my mother got a call that he had been in an accident, they came to us and they told us that his heart's beating, but his brain's not functioning. The doctor comes and tells you you got to pull the plug on your child. You got to make a decision knowing that he don't have nothing left behind. Nothing. No kids, no nothing. Only thing he got is we got memories of him, pictures. And then for a young man to come to the door and knock and say he's this child. And if he is, I want him. I want him. I want him, Johnny.
Mr. Hoyer, how does that make you feel?
Your Honor, that makes me relieved that there's someone out there that will accept me. So hopefully I am James Horne's son, because I will actually have a place where I will be able to fit in. I don't like being unwanted. I just want a fairy tale family. Just a family that will make me happy. A family that I can make happy. Not a family that will despise me just because I'm biracial. Not a family that doesn't want me around because I'm half black. I want a family that wants me around for who I am.
And you deserve that. You deserve that, sweetheart.
Yes,
you do.
Yes, he do.
I think it's time for the results.
Yes, he do. Yes, he do.
Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Hoyer v. Gentry, Porter, Horne, as it pertains to the likelihood of whether Mr. James Horne is your biological father, the DNA test results have determined that Mr. Horne is not likely your biological father.
See, son, you shouldn't have done this.
No, you shouldn't have done this.
Excuse me. You should have been,
never
you should have been
brought us this
honest
far.
with me from the
Ms.
get-go.
Gentry, I know you did not just tell him what he should not have done. just look at your son and say that?
You were never there from when I was in foster care.
sorry, Justin.
You gave up everything. Your kids, me. And it hurts for me to see this lady right here crying next to me. She wanted her brother to have a son. I thought I was. And to find out that I'm not, it hurts. Because I don't know who he is.
I understand. I understand. And you know, there are times in life, honestly, when we just don't get what we so desperately want. And it feels unfair.
Yes, Your Honor.
I would have liked nothing more than to be able to say you were the son of her brother. And you are her nephew. But the truth is the truth.
I still got love for you. I'm gonna tell you after going through this, if you need anything, I'll be there for you.
Thank you.
Now that is what family is all about. Thank you for that, Ms. Porter. Dustin, we wish you the best of luck. If you need this courtroom again, we are here for you. I wish you the very best, and I'm going to be checking in on you to make sure you're okay, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned. This is just another step on your journey. You don't give up. I see in your eyes you've got some determination.
Always.
Good. And a smile. Good luck to you, sweetie.